Good morning, third grade. I'm so excited that we have come this far in our online learning. We are going to finish strong. And so with that said, let's kind of dive into our lesson. Today is a review. So our video is going to be short and sweet because we are just going to review literary elements. Now there is another video where I explain each piece of literary elements. If you want to go back and look on our YouTube page called Vaquero Kids, I encourage you to do so. But we are going to be looking at how each story and most stories have certain literary elements. Now, this is your assignment for today, so this is what you're going to be seeing for this video, but I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say. Now, a story setting, so right here, setting, is where most of the story takes place, right? But it will have an effect on the plot. Here's an example. A story set on a tropical island might include events that arise because of intense heat or a dangerous storm. So that would be very different if the setting was in a desert. The problem would be different. Now, comparing contrasting characters, so let's go here. And we know that characters are the people or animals in a story. If you compare and contrast characters, they help you understand them better. Now, this story you're going to read, or if you've already read it, that's good, called Dear Dragon, is going to have two very different characters in it. But just because the characters are different doesn't mean that you can't get a good understanding of who they are and why they are different or alike. Now, another way to examine a character is to think about how they know each other and how they get along. So you're going to be thinking about George and Blaze and how they get to know each other and how they get along. Now, the plot of the story is another piece of literary elements. And this is how the stories are organized, mostly in sequence. Okay, they tell events in the order which they happened. However, the author may give the story a different structure. Here's an example. A story might be organized by using a series of letters. Now you're going to pay attention to this story called Dear Dragon. It's going to look a little different. It's going to be a bunch of letters between George and Blaze. It's also going to be in a poem form, and that's something we'll look at later, but for today I want us to focus on the literary elements. Now, you're going to practice exploring literary elements to gain a deeper understanding of Dear Dragon. So I just kind of wanted to show you the questions I have for you today. The first one is, how are George and Blaze alike? And how are they different? I encourage you to read all of the things I put from the very top. So start here all the way to the bottom because you need to be able to see what pages to look at and the directions. Our second question is, what do the illustrations or pictures show about how these characters think about each other? And our last one is, how are the settings different? So pay attention to each of these questions in the story. All right. If you have any questions, just let me know on Google Classroom and I will get back to you.